What is happening, Magnusites? Before I do this review, I have a quick announcement about Dragon Ball Z Abridged. All of my reactions to that are now on my backup channel. A few people wrote me and told me they had gotten strikes for doing reactions, and I was just like, you know what, Team's 4th star has been shut down several times, and I just don't want to deal with that. So, you know, Toei seems to be cool sometimes, but not cool. I don't know what's going on, but so I'm not caught up in the middle of fighting a bunch of strikes or something like that. I put them all on my backup channel, and some of them are viewable now. The rest will be viewable later. I gotta fix like the titles, because when you download them on YouTube, you have punctuation, they have all these funny signs in them. So I'm fixing all that stuff. So from now on, whenever you're looking for Dragon Ball Z Abridged reactions, they will be on that channel, okay? It may be on my Daily Motion, all right? So let's get it on with talking about Rogue One. Yeah, my mindset here. I gotta say that I think I thoroughly enjoyed Rogue One. You know, I went in expecting a completely new animal, you know, something related to the Star Wars species, but not exactly that, you know. I knew it wouldn't have an opening crawl. I was pretty sure that they would do things kind of maybe set themselves apart, which they did. There was no opening crawl. There was a very familiar beginning. Oh, by the way, this will be mullet style, so we'll do a regular review in the front, and then we will talk spoilers in the back. So it had a very familiar beginning, very familiar shots in the beginning and throughout the movie, but it had its own beginning. I gotta say, the music was very familiar, yet not the same, you know? The shots, the scenery, the way things looked, the way things were designed were all reminiscent of what we all know. It kept you familiar with being its own offshoot. So I think they did a really good job with that. The characters are memorable, but for me, I don't know what it is with me. I don't remember names very well with certain series, and this is one of them. The only one I remember is, you know, laugh, but the only ones is that the ones I'm already familiar with. Tarkin, Vader, you know, and I gotta say, they did a special effects version of Tarkin, and it was, like, I was like you knew it was, but it was like, damn, they did a really fucking good job on him. It reminded me of the CG Arnold, you know, like, I remember when I first saw the CG Arnold, I was like, wait a minute, it's not real, but is it what? How'd they, like, it had that in-betweenness to me, to where I wasn't exactly sure if it was, like, you know, real, tangible special effects, or if it was digital. He had that look. And we all know what the premise of the movie is. It basically follows the rebels and this particular female that is part of the whole team that is getting these Death Star plans to the rebels so that they know how to take it down. The story moves slow in certain points. I found myself yawning a lot. And there was a point where I was maybe halfway through the movie where I was like, I can already see I'm giving this movie a C. But things start to pick up, you know. I'm not a person that does not understand storytelling and character building, but character building and storytelling can be done in ways to keep you interested and excited. And I just didn't feel that way a few times in the movie. But suffice to say, it really picked up near the end. It was like, wow, the last half of this movie is the shit. I was just, it was action packed, full of everything you were waiting for and wanted to see. I mean, everything was there. All the characters that you're familiar with. People made returns. There's someone at the very end that I did not expect to see a digital version of. And I was like, ah! And then the way it ends, you're like, wow, okay. Now we're ready to go. You could, if you wanted to, you could watch this first and then watch the rest of the movies, and it would be like really complete. It'd be a really cool Star Wars movie party to throw. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. Well, not watch this one, but watch them all in order. You know what I mean? Watch them all in order. The action was very well done. Donnie Yen, I really liked that character. He seemed like he had the ability to be a Jedi. He had a buddy that was his right-hand man, that was almost like his protector in a way. Picked up the slack of what he couldn't see. I thought that the Empire was done very well. Especially with the throwback Tarkin and everything else. Vader, we saw a little bit more into Vader, where he resides and certain things he needs. I was like, really? Wow, okay. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that were very familiar in there. Solo enemies and Jedi enemies. Cantina folks. There's just a lot of stuff. It was like, there was a lot of nods to the past that were in this movie. A few nods to the past that were in this movie. Special effects were absolutely top notch. Yes. Remember, I'm a regular guy giving a movie review, so what I'm doing is just talking about things I liked and didn't like. The female lead, I liked her, but I didn't exactly find her extremely interesting. And her dad, the man who he helped with the plans and getting things done, I liked him, but he was kind of forgettable too in a way. I mean, I don't know. It was something about them too. It just didn't make it, very. Even the Forrest Whitaker, I didn't. They're not very in your face. I liked them. I just, certain characters I think were really in your face and they weren't. The Imperial droid that they reprogrammed to work with them, he was very memorable. And in the beginning, I really didn't like him. He had a particular attitude, but he worked. He did work, and he worked very well. I ended up really liking him by the end. Yeah. So, what I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to get, and I may have missed some things, but I'm going to be talking about spoilers in a minute anyway. So, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. Woo! All right, and not 4 horsemen, 4 woos. So very good job, Disney. I look forward to the next movie that you guys do. Spoiler time. Vader was whooping some fucking ass at the end. Did y'all see that shit? Yo, I love that when he boarded and it was just all dark and you heard him breathing. It was just like, I was like, oh, no. And it wasn't none of the extra fancy lightsaber stuff, but he was very reminiscent of what he was in the first 3 movies that we're all familiar with. And he was doing his thing, Force. And remember when he had the dude on the ceiling and he was still fucking people up, and then he hit him while he was on. I was like, man. And the way they ended it when they gave the plans to Leia, I was like, they got a fucking CGI Leia? You know, like I told you, they're going to be able to fool us soon. They're going to fool us soon with CGI versus real people. I'm telling you, that was cool. And then poof, they were out. And that's why I was saying, like, you could watch that and then start the other movies, like, right away. Like, the way they did. I thought that was really fucking cool. I thought that shot was so cool with how all the rebel ships all arrived at the same time out of hyperspace. I thought that shit was so fucking cool, man. The Death Star destroying those 2 cities was incredible. I mean, like, I expected it to be a more localized explosion. But no, it was like causing a lot of devastation. I mean, uprooting land and shockwaves. And I mean, it's to be expected you destroy a full city. But I mean, damn, I just wasn't expecting it to be like that. The droid was very C-3PO-ish, wasn't he? I don't want to say very, but his voice was reminiscent of C-3PO. You know, and of course C-3PO and R2 made their appearance in the film. What was I gonna say? I don't know. But all in all, I mean, I really enjoyed the movie, y'all. You know, like the end was, it's shining. The end was, it very much shined in the end. You know, I did not know that. Now, I do remember, see, I've seen the movies tens of times, but I haven't seen it hundreds, like a lot of, you know, Star Wars enthusiasts have seen. You know what I mean? I was just thinking, that's the reason why I said Star Trek by accident, because I was thinking about Trekkies, and I was thinking about, is there a name that we even call people that are into Star Wars? So I was thinking Trekkies, and that's why I said Star Trek. But anyway, I did not know that the Death Star could go into hyperspace. I knew that it could move. You know, I knew they would set a course for somewhere, you know, it could come and get you. But I didn't know that they could fucking go into hyperspace. Because at the end, when they were like, you know, it was massive object station or whatever coming out of hyperspace, I was like, yo. When he said let's jump to hyperspace, and I was like, Death Star can go into hyperspace? I didn't know that. Anyway, Donnie Yen character, I really liked him. I thought he could have definitely made a great Jedi. Like he was definitely into the Force, but he just, you know, he needed that I don't know, that master to find him. And you know, that was cool how he walked to the switch, and like, you know, he was just had that complete faith, and nobody touched him until after he made, you know, the switch. So I was gonna say, I really thought it was cool how they brought back the older characters. You know, all the people on the ships and the pilots and the different people, you know, that are part of the rebel force. Was that the dude that got it in the cantina with the hairy vagina face looking like a walrus? Was that where did he get his arm cut off? That's what it was. That's the one that Obi-Wan cut his arm off. Yeah, and that ugly dude with him. Yes. Because they were in it. I hate sometimes when I'm doing reviews, sometimes I draw blanks on exactly what I want to talk about. I may in the future start to write a couple of notes. I usually hit everything I wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I usually do hit everything that I want to talk about. But the special effects were just top notch. I really love the special effects, y'all. I like how in the opening, it did say, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, and I was like, wait a minute, is it? Did they trick us by saying that? And it was just like, ding! And I was like, oh, okay. And, the music was very reminiscent of the original score, but you don't hear much of the original score until, later. You only hear it, I think, a couple of times, maybe with Vader and certain battle scenes or certain transitional scenes or something. Like, you'll hear it and it's like, oh yeah, there it is. And of course, they ended it with the original theme. That's about it, y'all. My mind is so jumbled. Maybe I'll do a live stream at some point about it. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. If you enjoyed the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. If you did not, you know what? You can kiss my black derriere. 1 million subscribers. Woo! You may now subscribe.